We are facing a situation of dreadful suffering in Gaza. There can be no doubt about that. I spoke some weeks ago about the danger of this tipping into famine and the danger of illness tipping into disease, and we are now at that point. People are dying of hunger, people are dying of otherwise preventable diseases. And the situation is very bad because we've been pushing for this aid to get in. We've had a whole set of things we've asked the Israelis to do, but I have to report to your Lordship's House that the amount of aid that got in February was about half what got in January. So patience needs to run very thin, and a whole series of warnings need to be given, starting, I hope, with the meeting I have with Minister Gantz when he visits the UK tomorrow. We've set out very clearly a set of 5 asks which need to be put in place. The humanitarian pause, the capacity inside Gaza that many noble lords have spoken about, the increased access through both land and maritime routes, including Ashdod port, which the noble Lord Collins mentioned, and of course expanding the type of humanitarian assistance that gets in. Too many items are sent away because they're supposedly dual-use goods, and some of these things are things that are absolutely necessary for medical and other procedures. And we also need to see a resumption of electricity, water to North and South Gaza. Let me say again at this dispatch box, Israel is the occupying power. It is responsible. And that has consequences, including in how we look at whether Israel is compliant with international humanitarian law. So I think that is the most important thing on the issue of Gaza. Turning to the political process and how, as many noble lords said, how do we try and turn this moment of such disaster into a moment of opportunity? Baroness Northover, the noble Lord Desai, the Bishop of Leeds, Lord Lee, all asked, are we committed to finding an answer? Do we see this as an opportunity? And my answer to that is yes, the situation is terrible, but if we can turn a pause for this hostage deal into a sustainable ceasefire and build momentum so we don't go back to fighting, there is a chance, because I think, as the noble Lord Lee said, there's some exhaustion on both sides. There may be a chance to get to more of a political solution. I know a number of noble lords, including Lord Hannay, said, are we rather torturing ourselves with this debate between pause and ceasefire? The reason I think this is the right way is by saying a pause, which should happen now. I want it to happen tonight, tomorrow, to stop this killing, is to have a pause, and then you put in place the conditions that make a ceasefire more likely to be permanent.